All right. Hello, friends. I'm glad to be back again this week. It's 11 o'clock Tuesday, so we know what that means. It's Your Legacy Live. And today we are going to be looking at, well, what are three ways you can upgrade your business with estate planning? Okay. So I've got some great news for you. Now, you can truly deal with some of the biggest challenges that business owners face by doing what you should, and that's by creating a estate plan. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's go ahead and jump in. All right. So estate planning and business planning. How do these work together and what does it mean for a business owner to do estate planning, and how is the estate planning process a little different, and what can it contribute to a business owner's success in their business, right? So first of all, what I want to do is I'm going to look at your business. And I want you to look at your business in what I think is the correct way, right? I know a lot of us think about our business as our calling or our service to the world, a way that we can contribute to this world, right? And, it's our dream. It's our dream to own a business, most of us. We don't just fall into business ownership usually. It usually takes some concerted effort, and it's not easy, and it's not for everybody. So if you own a business, it's because, well, you've decided that's the best situation for you at this time. Now, I want to bring this down to earth a little bit, okay? So I know it could be your dream. I know we provide a lot of services as business owners to increase the experience that our customers are experiencing in life, right? Enjoy their hobbies, talents, whatever it is that we provide to our clients or customers. But let's bring this down to earth a little bit. I want to talk about what I think first and foremost is the best way to look at your business when it comes to planning, when it comes to business planning and business structuring and any decisions you're making with your business. And that's to look at your business and what it is to those who matter most to you. Your family. We've talked about this in the past in other episodes, right? What is your family? That definition of family is very inclusive and broad here. Okay, so these are the people who matter most to you: friends, family, relatives, the people you care for, and the people that you want to see succeed, and the people you're striving to help succeed in life. So, what is your business to them? Now, one is it's going to be a source of income and support for your family, right? Also, it's an asset. Okay. I want you to start thinking about your business as an asset. It's not just a hobby. It's not just a way to make a little bit of money. It's not just your income, but it's actually a personal asset that you own, that you can sell, barter with, you can provide services with, right? It's an asset. Just like cash, just like real estate, it's an asset. All right. And that asset to your family is the way that they are able to support their quality of life and to just to be able to exist and do what they need to do every day. All right. So last time when we were discussing the basics of estate planning, we talked about how you can use estate planning to kind of take control of the difficult times that you're going to face in life, right? We got incapacity and death as the two big ones, right? And we talk about that a lot. And that's what most people think about when they think about about estate planning, is that incapacity and death. But we talked about last time, it's more than just providing who's going to get your stuff when you pass away. We talked about that last time. It's also creating this experience. It's helping to keep conflict out of the family, keep people from fighting, keep confusion out when life throws you curveballs. It's to creating that best experience for your family and creating that roadmap for them when something happens to you or to them, to avoid that confusion and that conflict and infighting. Okay, so now let's go ahead and incorporate your business into that discussion. That's what we're going to talk about today. Is we're going to start that discussion about business planning in the context of estate planning. All right, and I think this is very imperative, as you'll see. Obviously, it's what I have decided to do with my business, is to help business owners and families to take control of these difficult times and to help them to look at the perspectives and understand how they can control their lives and how they can control what happens to them and their loved ones in these difficult times. So they're prepared. So they know that their life is going to go the way that they would like to see it happen, even in moments when they can't control certain outcomes. Okay, so here's the three ways that you can upgrade your business with the tools that are provided for in estate planning. So the first one is you can reduce risk. Now let's face it, we know that business ownership and entrepreneurship, there's a lot of risk involved there, right? You're opening yourself up to a lot of litigation potentially. You're opening yourself up to disgruntled customers and clients. You're opening yourself up to oftentimes, if you're taking on funding or having investors come in, you're taking on those risks that you're gonna have, things are gonna fail and you're gonna have to pay them back, right? So those are some of the risks that you're taking on. You're also taking on the risk that you're not going to make enough next month to provide for your family. So these are all the risks that we take on, and there's many more. But I just wanted to illustrate and help you remember, if you don't remember every day you wake up, that business ownership can introduce new risks into your life. So estate planning, by taking some time to do estate planning, and you'll find as we continue to talk about this conversation in the context of business planning, that I'll start talking about exit planning as well, okay? Exit planning is part of, I think it's kind of a bigger umbrella than estate planning. I think estate planning is a piece of the exit planning context. And as we start to broaden our discussion and talk more specifically about exit planning, we're gonna realize that estate planning is a piece of that, right? It's a piece of that exit planning process, and part of the exit planning process, like the first thing we do in exit planning, you'll learn one of the first things that we want to do is we want to reduce these risks, right? Because in exit planning, we're going to want to increase the value of our business because we want to maximize, generally want to maximize the value of our business. So when we exit it, we're exiting with the best case scenario for us and whoever else is involved in that exit plan, right? So we want to reduce risks as we grow the business value, because as we increase the value of a business, we're also increasing some exposures to risks. So by creating that baseline of risk reduction and risk mitigation, we can do that. And part of how we do that is through estate planning. So part of that risk mitigation part of exit planning is your estate planning. Okay, so let's talk a little specifically about this. How can you reduce risk with estate planning? Well, there's a lot of ways, and some of them are very advanced and aren't for everybody, and some are basic. The basics are going to be, making sure that you've included a way for succession, right? If something happens to you, that there's not a risk of loss of the business, okay? And we'll talk more specifically that in the upgrade number 2. Other ways you can reduce risk. One is you're going to just take your business more seriously. So you're going to look at structuring and make sure you have the right business entity in place, like an LLC, corporation, partnership. What is a trust? What is the right way to structure your business? And just by putting a business entity structure in place, you've reduced some risks there because you've encapsulated your business and all those risks over into this entity. And now your family and your home is all outside of your business. And there's this liability shield between it that we can create, right? So that's one part of the estate planning process. Make sure we have the right business entity in place. And then how does that business entity interact with your family and your loved ones, right? So how do you own that? Does your spouse also own a piece of that or not? And so all those questions get answered. And then how do you structure your business as far as we talked about last time, avoiding the probate process with a revocable trust, right? Okay, well, if you have a revocable trust, what is your business entity's relationship with that trust? Well, there's a lot of questions can go in there, but you can take advantage of trust planning with business ownership, right? There's, not to get too much in the weeds here, but depending on the tax status of your business entity, you're going to share that ownership or assign that ownership of your business to your trust so that your trust can have control over that business ownership if something happens to you. But that's not always the best case scenario, okay? So we kind of want to look at those things and see how we can reduce risk with business entity structure, and how does that incorporate into your will planning, your trust planning, and all of that. Another way that estate planning can look at reducing risk is if you're a professional and you have professional liability risks, such as a physician, an attorney, a CPA. A lot of other professions have this, right? Where creating a business entity isn't going to encapsulate that specific liability, right? So if a professional screws up and makes a mistake or omits something in what they should be doing in their business, and is found to have committed malpractice, that oftentimes that risk and that liability, it can pierce through that business entity's corporate or business, veil, or that liability shield and get through there. Okay. So what we do there with estate planning is we can look, well, how can we move some of your personal assets into certain other structures like trust structures or other business structures that will protect those assets from these personal liabilities that can come into place from your business role and your professional role in your business. Okay, so that's some ways that estate planning can reduce your risk reduce risks in your business. Okay, so let's talk about number 2. It can prevent loss of income. All right, so how does estate planning prevent loss of income? So in this scenario, a business owner gets injured. Let's say that you own a service-based business, and you're not able to. You have to get in there and you're performing those services for your clients, such as me, right? Let's say I get injured and I can't complete some projects for some clients because I'm in the hospital. So what's happening there? Am I losing income? Is my family suffering because I'm not able to perform the work? Okay. And so with estate planning and proper business planning, what we can do is we can prevent that loss of income by having a contingency plan in place, having another professional that you've agreed with to step in and help your clients when you can't. All right, so that's one piece of the pie, right? And how do you enable that agreement, enable them to come in and do that? Okay, another thing is, we want to make sure that bills can get paid and people can collect invoices. So do we have someone who can step into your role as the business owner on a temporary basis if you become incapacitated? If maybe you don't, maybe you're in a goods service, in a goods business, right, where you're providing goods to people and printing T-shirts or some other kind of good, and someone else, you can empower someone else through his proper estate planning. Someone else can step in and has the authority to step in without any confusion or conflict. Someone can step in and kind of run the business in the meantime while you get better. So that's one way you can prevent loss of income, is by having a contingency plan in place to make sure that there are no hiccups in the business going forward if something happens to you, the business owner. Now, you're probably starting to think here, like, is this really estate planning or is it business planning? It sounds more like we need to just have a good, strong management structure in place. And that seems more like business planning than estate planning. You're right. And that's why I always say this is under an umbrella of exit planning, right? And then my saying with exit planning is just good business planning. It's something that you start as soon as you open your doors in your business. The first day in your business, you have started to create and you're starting to execute on your exit plan. Build your exit plan and execute on that exit plan, okay? So yeah, having a good, strong management structure in your business is going to be incredibly beneficial to your business in many instances along the way of business ownership and running a business, and will help you with that exit, and to accelerate the value and the success of that exit plan. Okay, so again, you can prevent loss of income because you are bypassing or you are avoiding hiccups or speed bumps in the business as you become incapacitated or pass away. All right. just checking to see if we have any comments here. Again, make sure you comment. I'll come back and look at those and respond to them later if you watch this as a recording later. But let's go ahead and keep going forward. Okay. All right, perfect. So number 3, you can increase the value of your business through estate planning, which is a piece of the overall exit planning discussion. You can increase the value of your business. Okay, 1, through all of these steps, anytime you do any proper planning or take a moment to take your business more seriously by putting estate planning in place, putting new agreements in place, and just doing good, sound business planning. Anytime you do any of those things, you're starting to take your business more seriously. And when you take your business more seriously, you interact with your business differently and you interact with your clients differently, and the public can see it. They can feel it and they respond positively to it. Okay? There's a new energy about your business that will increase the value of business. People will take your business more seriously as you take your business more seriously. Okay? So again, if we look at the broad umbrella exit plan, right? Building your business towards whatever exit you have. Even if it's 5, 10, 50 years down the road, we need to be thinking about that exit plan, and we need to be planning for it and executing on that exit plan. All right. And part of that is, and a big overall goal of the exit planning process is to increase the value of your business. So how does estate planning help increase the value of your business? Okay, like we just said, you take it more seriously, others are going to take it more seriously. You're going to start putting structures in place to prevent, again, just like in number 2 a minute ago, prevent loss of income. You're starting to put some management structures in place, put some employee training in place. You're going to have contingency plans in place. All of those things increase the value of your business in the eyes of a third-party purchaser. So if your exit plan is to sell your business to a third party or to a private equity group, or even you're going to sell it to family, right? You want the next generation to take over, and you're going to sell it to them. Well, it increases the value of that business and the value of return, because if these structures are in place and these plans are in place, that's less work that the person who takes over, the buyer, is going to have to do, the successor of your business is going to have to do to keep the business running smoothly. It's going to be a more attractive business if these things are in place, okay? And what is great about that is, 1, if you have partners, okay, or if you don't, if you're going to be selling to a third party, but if you have partners, it's going to increase the value of that business. Maybe your exit plan is to sell to your partners. Your partners are going to take over. You have a good buy-sell agreement in place. Okay, I just said buy-sell agreement. That should be part of your estate plan. Yes, it's a part of your business planning, but it's also a part of your estate plan. That buy-sell agreement between your partners, saying, hey, if something happens to one of us, we're going to buy each other out, or the business is going to buy back our ownership. That's going to provide amazing value, 1, to your business partners, because they're going to invest more because they know their ownership of the business and their continuation in the business is more assured, right? Also, this is going to have a huge impact on the success of your family and their experience going forward. If you can create a business and have plans in place that is going to allow your spouse to either there's kind of 2 options here. There's many ways to accomplish both these options. There's different techniques in these options, but 2 basic options here. When you pass away and you're married, right, or have a life partner, and you need to provide for, and the business has been your main source of income and their main source of income, or at least part of it, right? They need the income or value from that business to continue to provide for themselves, provide for any dependents if you still have children. You can provide a plan. You can put a plan in place to either, 1, help them transition to the business that you've taught them and help them to understand how to run the business and continue that business going forward. Maybe they can just work above the business because you've put such a strong management structure in place. So the business kind of runs itself, and they're able to, your spouse is just able to kind of check in and make sure that things keep moving smoothly. Or two, maybe your spouse doesn't want to be in business with your partners after you pass away. And you can provide a plan so that their partners or the business buys the spouse out. So the partners don't have to worry about working with the spouse that doesn't have any experience in the business. And the spouse can be assured that they're going to be provided for. It's a win-win situation for everybody. All right? You've increased the value of your business by taking proper steps to plan and structure your business well so that your partners will pay a fair market value or what agreed upon value, calculated value that they can pay out to your spouse or children that will provide a legacy to them, right? The last thing you want to see happen here, right? The last thing you want to see happen is that you've left a mess of a business behind, that you were just constantly plugging holes, that all you ever did is looked at your business as a paycheck from week to week and just trying to increase the income of the business by just getting a new client, just focusing only on getting the next client, right? And never really dealing with the structures and never really dealing with making this business into an asset that's marketable, that's going to be able to be something that can provide for your family. Because if you don't do that, all your family's going to be left with is maybe some equipment they can sell off, right? And then who knows what structures you've put in place as far as the liabilities of the business. Are those assets of the business, the equipment in the business, are those going to be enough just to pay off the debts of the business? Is there going to be anything for your family after you're gone? That's a serious question you need to ask yourself. And that's why you need to take these things seriously. And the thing is, you don't have to go about this alone, okay? If you're worried about it, it's something that keeps you up at night, or something, or will now that I've told you about it, well, you don't have to figure this out on your own. That's why you have strategic partners. You have advisors. You have, estate planning attorneys, business attorneys. You have your CPA. Huge. Take advantage of your CPA. They have a lot of experience and understanding of these processes and how to deal with the tax and accounting and getting your finances in order, right? You've got business coaches that can help you to create an environment where you can build a great management structure because your employees love working for you and working with you, and they are committed to the business and increasing the value of the business. All right. So don't go about it alone. Reach out to me if you want. Reach out to your current business attorney or estate planning attorney and figure out what you can do to kind of start on this road. Find out what your business is worth. One of the first things, I'll talk about this more later, but one of the first things that I do when I talk to a business owner who's interested in really structuring their business properly is we look at we do an enterprise valuation process. Okay. I got to come with a better name of it, but that's just kind of what I'm calling it. Right. And, right there, what we do is we just kind of do a scorecard. We go a scorecard on 3 different topics. Okay. So key points. We look at your personal finances. What do you want to retire with? What do you need to live on, and what do you need to retire with, right? So that's your personal wealth, right? Is there a gap between what you have today and where you want to be today or want to be in the future, right? Okay. 2, let's look at the business and get a scorecard on the value of the business. Does the business value fill in that wealth gap I just talked about? Or is there a value gap in the business? Is the business value need to be increased in order to fill your personal wealth gap needs, right? Okay. So there's some things we look at. Also look at the income gap, right? Is the current income of your business, is it good enough, or do you need more, right? And then from there, you'll have a good, solid understanding if there's anything you can or need to do to do some proper business planning to move forward. Okay. Again, some of the first things you'll do if you decide, yeah, there's some things I need to do to increase the value of my business because my business is not going to provide the retirement outcome that I want. Your wealth gap is too big. If you're a business owner, the value of your business is going to be in most cases, 80% of your net worth is your business. All right. So if everything you have outside your business is less than what you need to have at retirement, to have that lifestyle you want at retirement, or even right now or in 10 years from now, that lifestyle you want to have in 10 years, if what you own now outside your business doesn't equal this amount, this value, then you need to look at your business and see if it fills in that gap. If it doesn't, use some value growth techniques to increase the value of your business to fill in that goal, right? So in 10 years, if that's your goal, you can exit your business with having filled in that wealth gap, and you'll have what you want and need going forward. And your family, if you're not there anymore, your family will have what they need. Okay. And there'll be specific steps put in place and plans and a roadmap in place through estate planning to help them guide them through that process. Okay. So I got a little bonus for you. We went through the 3, right? Reduce risk, prevent loss of income, and also increasing the value of your business. Those are 3 upgrades you can do your business using proper and good estate planning techniques and tools. All right. So bonus time. All right. We kind of talked about it. I should have changed slides already, but it's continues to provide. So your business continues to provide for your family. All right. In the case of all these contingencies, if you do proper planning, estate planning, business planning, again, this is starting the estate planning process will instigate the business value growth discussion and process and planning, okay? So that your business can be an asset that continues to provide for your family through generations. Okay, whether the business stays in the business, it stays in the family or not as a operating business and having the next generation take over because you've groomed them. And remember, proper estate planning doesn't just dump money on your family when you die. Okay, proper estate planning trains your family, helps you implement guiding principles within your family that will make sure that the next generation is ready to take over the business if that's part of the plan. If that is one of the guiding principles of your family is to take over the business, the family business, so that at the second generation, that generation is ready to keep that business moving forward and growing along the trajectory that you've created. Or maybe no one's interested. It's not the proper path for any of the next generation, right? Or you don't have a next generation, right? So the business, then you could pivot the business and position the business that it can provide for them through a sale or through a different exit option, right? Selling to a private equity group or selling to a third party, a strategic buyer, positioning that, and that will give your family or whoever, if you don't have a next generation, it can provide a charitable group or some other group with some funds and a nest egg to kindle their mission, right? And to grow their mission. So again, by doing proper planning, you will have taken control over the future of your business and you will take control over what your business is able to provide your family in the case of incapacity or in the case of your death. Okay. So this is all good news. You shouldn't feel stressed. You should feel excited that you do have this power. All right. There might be a lot you need to do, but that's okay, because that just means you have potential. If you're worried about this and you see that you need to do a lot of work, that means there is a ton of potential in your business. And that right there is a blessing, because it means you haven't seen all that your business is capable of. All right. So with that, hope, again, leave any comments or questions you have in the comments, whether you're over on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitch, wherever you're at, your choice of platforms. Go ahead and comment. I'll follow up with you. Let me know what your thoughts are, questions are, and we'll see you next week.